welcome to our second game of our NASDAQ Amex College Football doubleheader from Death Valley, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Alabama, LSU. Wisniewski will kick away. Mealy at the 10. And Mealy rumbles down to the 25-yard line. Herb Tyler, the quarterback for LSU, thrown for 15 touchdowns, ran for 7 more. 203-pound senior from New Orleans, completing nearly 60% of his passes on the season.
Very lightly recruited out of high school as an option quarterback. No one knew he'd have the success he's had here at LSU.
Tigers are 4-4 on the season, trying to wake this offense up. First pass play complete to the flat, Larry Foster, and he's pushed down to the 29-yard line. Let's take a look at that LSU offense. Backs and receivers. The tailback's a good one. Falk. Banks is the fullback. The wide receivers, Foster and Booty. Up front, Williams, Thomasy, McClure, Langley, and Winey.
Todd McClure was all SEC last year, had a staph infection in his shin earlier in the year, missed a game. They needed him back. He is the glue in that offensive line. You
saw Jerry DiNardo, 4th year at LSU, feeling some heat with that 4-4 record. Second down on the ground. Oh, a little slip and fall. Falk is taken down at the 29-yard line. Let's set that Alabama defense for you. They run the 4-3 up front with Grimes, Griffin, Carter, and Moorhead. Linebackers, Knight, Tino, and Trevis Smith. And the DBs are Bryant, Spencer, Dixon, and Miles. Alabama head coach Mike DeBose, Ed's second season. Had high expectation, has really lifted this Bama program up in a hurry.
Yeah, he's a graduate of the University of Alabama, realizes how important it is in the state of Alabama.
Falk on the pitch, past the 30, close to the first down. Looks like he got it by a yard. Tackled by Travis Carroll. And Carroll, number 44, the middle linebacker for Alabama, was really doubtful if he would start this game or even see action, Eddie, because of some shoulder problems. But you look at the numbers Kevin Falk has put up on the season, nearly 6 yards a carry.
He's got a bunch of records already here at LSU, nipping on the heels at a bunch of other ones. We'll keep track of those for you today, but truly one of the great Tigers to ever play the game.
1st and 10, LSU. Tyler going deep. And incomplete. Good coverage on Booty on the near sideline. Fernando Bryant, the left corner, providing coverage for Alabama.
In talking to Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator from LSU, he told us that they were going to go deep quite often early in this game because of the safeties of Alabama. They needed to get them out of the running game, get them backing up a little bit. Fernando Bryant has perfect coverage on Booty, and Tyler has nowhere to go on that throw.
3 wide receivers set, and you look at Herb Tyler from his shotgun. Second down. Tyler can run. Dangerous indeed. Up to the 45-yard line. Herb Tyler, Eddie, has run for 125 yards. 7 touchdowns on the season at his quarterback spot.
Well, Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator at Alabama, told us that that was one of the hardest things about defending LSU is Herb Tyler is truly another running back. He does have a good arm. He's a good throwing quarterback, but he said he might be the 2nd best running back at LSU, right behind Kevin Falk.
Picks up 7 yards. You look at that front for Alabama. Kenny Smith, Cornelius Griffin this season. You saw the numbers on Herb Tyler. Out of the backfield comes Kevin Falk. And he's deceptive. We know, Ed, that he's a good runner. Nearly 900 yards he's piled up, but great hands. That's his 20th reception out of the backfield.
Back in 1996, Falk was an All-American as an all-purpose back. He had over 2,000 all-purpose yards when you combine receiving, rushing, and kick returns. So dangerous, not only out of the backfield, but we'll see him today line up in the slot as a receiver and run a bunch of routes down the field. And we just saw right there, it's that speed around the corner that makes him so special.
A 2-time All-SEC pick. Flags come out as they will stretch the chains. About a football short.
You've got to figure at home, Jerry DiNardo would like his chances of going for it here on 4th down. They're discussing it with his offensive coaches. But you get the sense in our meetings with Jared DiNardo, he's the type of guy who loves challenges like this.
Oh, yeah. Again, the first 3 seasons, kind of a honeymoon for DiNardo. He really lifted LSU up. 3 straight bowl victories, and now some rumblings around Tiger Town.
But I liked his response. He said, you know, if we wouldn't have risen it up as fast as we did, we wouldn't have the criticism we have now. He kind of welcomed it.
7th play of this drive coming up. 12:26, first quarter, 4th and inches. With a stack the right side with a couple of tight ends. Pitch play, Falk. Turns the corner, got it. Reached down on second effort, down to the 47-yard line. Travis Carroll chased him down.
Right guard Trey Langley pulls out to lead the toss sweep to the right. Travis Carroll from the linebacker spot gets outside. Little stutter step by Falk, though. Getting a little juke inside, was able to bounce outside. That's the type of moves that he's going to have to use. Whenever there's penetration by the defense like Carroll got there, that's what Falk is able to do that. Make a little move, bounce outside for the first down.
Herb Tyler, one of 18 seniors who were honored just before the kick of this football game, playing their final home game at Tiger Stadium. Tyler in the pocket, fires a dart on a knee, down. He threw that ball where he had to. Larry Foster made the catch.
Take a look at the SEC West standings currently. Arkansas up there at top, undefeated, having a great day today against Ole Miss. Alabama, LSU. But it's a lot of people had thought that this may be a little different. Arkansas not thought to be doing very well. Didn't think they'd have a great year. But LSU was considered to be one of the top teams in the West and really have struggled this year.
At the Alabama 46-yard line.
3 wide receivers. Shotgun again for Herb Tyler. And a timeout.
Timeout. Tigers.
Alabama showed a blitz package, and Herb Tyler forced to call a timeout.
Bank One will treat 2
We'll take the break
to the ultimate seat upgrade. For today's game, 2 prime seats at midfield on the west side.
11:09 remaining, first quarter here in Death Valley. We're scoreless.
If you're seated in west upper section 25 or DG,
And welcome back to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Tiger Stadium. Craig Bullerjack back with Ed Cunningham. And Eddie, we see 2 good quarterbacks today. Falk, of course, the running back, Herb Tyler, the senior. And we haven't seen Andrew Zhao yet, but just wait till you see the Bama freshman.
Yeah, he's a freshman. Then Alabama will be set as a quarterback for Alabama for the next 3 years. Herb Tyler having his last game today at Tiger Stadium.
9th play of this drive. Falk gets the call up to the 45-yard line, and a posse of red jerseys make the tackle.
You know, that's the part of Kevin Falk that a lot of people don't realize. Not the biggest guy that's ever played running back, obviously, at 5'10", 192, but he can move the pile. He got hit at the line of scrimmage and was able to move the pile forward a yard or 2. Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator at Alabama, told us that's what makes him the total package. He has the speed to get outside, which we've already seen on this drive, and he also has that power to duck his head and get a couple extra tough yards.
Tommy Banks, the fullback, checks in. Booty in motion. 3rd down and 3. And slapped away. Booty incomplete. Good coverage provided by the free safety, Marcus Spencer.
incomplete. Broken up by Spencer. 4th down.
Brings up a 4th down and 3.
Very interesting, Craig, that LSU uses 2 punters. Right now, we're going to see Jeremy Witten come into the game. He is their pooch punting specialist. When they get inside the 50, he's the guy who gets to drop it down inside the 20. Had a great game last year against Alabama. Dropped one on the 13, the 1, and the 2.
He has pooched 10 inside the 20-yard line, but not much of a pooch this time.
That one was poorly pooched.
They will mark that ball at the 33-yard line, so no return. And Alabama will start their first series with good field position. DeBose clapping. We'll take a break. 10:16 left, first quarter.
NASDAQ Amex College Football on CBS is sponsored by AXA and the Equitable. Edge Pro Gel. America Online, and by Little Caesars.
Blue skies above Death Valley. Scoreless here in the opening minutes of the first quarter. SEC battle between LSU and Alabama. Andrews out feeling pressure on the first play from line of scrimmage, and he throws incomplete. There he is. Has really broken onto the scene. Andrew Zhao, strong arm and a quick release. Lake Butler, Florida, 6'2", 215, the total package. 6 touchdowns, thrown 5 interceptions.
Huge game last week against Southern Miss, had 361 yards passing. Young guy who's really starting to get a grasp of this offense.
We will see many different formations from Alabama today. They loaded up on the far side. First man through, Alexander the Great, they call him. We set up that Alabama offense, backs and receivers. We just saw Alexander bust through. McClintock is the running back. The wideouts, Locke and Johnson. Up front, Samuels, Redmill, Hogan, McDonald, and Cuthbert.
Paul Hogan, the center's been fighting a few injuries, a little nicked up.
Third down, 6 at the 38-yard line.
Really tough when you lose a center or your center's dinged up, because he's the guy who's making all the calls. It can change a lot of the chemistry on that offensive line.
How about these offensive sets? Shotgun, 3 wideouts, little timing pattern, sideline, and a little strong, incomplete. They had Quincy Jackson along the far sideline, so it's the 3-up, 3-down syndrome for Alabama.
If you have not seen Alabama play this year, it may be a little surprising to see them throwing the ball down the field as much as they have, but that is their game plan. Neil Callaway, the new offensive coordinator, he's going to throw the ball a lot, and you talked about the formations. They have between 60 and 65 formations. We'll probably see every one of them this afternoon.
Back to punt for Alabama, Daniel Pope. Falk and Foster await the punt for LSU. Good kick. And out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Oh, what a kick. 53 yards for Pope. LSU will have it at their own 9 when we come back. Scoreless in Baton Rouge.
Here we go.
A sold-out Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Alabama, and LSU. First quarter here in Death Valley, 9:12 to play.
Travis Carroll, the sophomore linebacker for Alabama, has been playing from the beginning. We didn't think he was going to start today, but I guarantee he was in those coaches' ears all morning talking about wanting to play.
He told us they'd have to drag him off with that bad shoulder. Play action. Herb Tyler, Kentucky run. Nice move at the 12 and down to the 14-yard line. For more on Travis Carroll, let's take you downstairs and say hello to John Dockery. Doc?
Hi, guys. Yeah, Travis Carroll, I spoke to him right before the game and to his coaches. He was a game-time decision because that right shoulder is killing him. He's in pain. He didn't practice all week long, and in warm-ups, he hardly did anything. But there he is out in the game playing. That's how important this game is to Alabama.
Travis Carroll's been half speed all year. He tore a muscle inside his shoulder during camp and then sprained it again last week against Southern Miss, but he's the emotional leader for Alabama.
A deep muscle tear. Folk, nothing up the middle, cuts it to the outside, stiff arms down the sideline to the 29-yard line. Oh, great strength, but even great footwork. 192-pounder coming right at you.
It's all about patience being a running back. You have to wait for the hold. Notice the stutter step. He actually stopped in his tracks to wait for the hole to open up, but what I like is right there. That's physical, tough running. Get the stiff arm. It always gets you a couple extra yards at the end of a run.
15-yard gain for Kevin Falk. First down LSU. This time, Alabama's defense comes barreling through, tackled by the free safety, Marcus Spencer.
Well, Alabama's going to get their safeties involved. Number 41, he's actually lined up almost at linebacker depth. He's only about 8 yards off the ball. That is how a lot of teams now get into an 8-man front. Marcus Spencer, former walk-on, was given a scholarship this year for his great effort last year. Started every game at free safety as a walk-on. But that's how Alabama is going to try to challenge the two-back offense of LSU's bring those safeties up.
Booty in motion from the shotgun. Second down, 3. Tommy Banks out of the backfield, and Banks upended at the 36. Only his second reception of the season. Stanley got some help from Spencer to knock down the big man at 250 pounds.
Just great patience by Herb Tyler. He looked downfield at all his progressions. 2nd and 13. Found Banks uncovered out of the backfield, knowing that you're probably not going to get a first down, but it gets you down into 3rd and short. You don't want to be at 3rd and 14, so now you got a chance to open that playbook back up.
3rd down, call it 3 wide receivers. Tyler, slant, Booty to the 49. And you hear, those aren't boos.
Are not boos.
Those are just cheers of Booty. Yeah, Abram Booty. He's had a catch now in 16 straight games.
Abram Booty's brother, Josh, was recruited to play quarterback here at LSU. Decided to play professional baseball, but the fans here very happy that his brother, Abram, decided to stay. Has really turned into, as a true sophomore, played as a true freshman last year. Decided to come and play, even though his brother decided to go play baseball.
Was an all-freshman SEC pick a year ago. Just a good possession. Tackle receiver. Reverse. Big hole. Foster. Sideline at the 20. Reggie Miles saved the touchdown for Bama.
Todd McClure, the all-SEC center right here in the middle, is going to fake run, and then he's going to come back and get a great seal block on the reverse to number 22, Larry Foster. See him sneaking out of the back there. Bam! Just knocks the defender right on his can. Great block by McClure, the center, to spring Foster free around the edge. If the center does not get out there in front of Foster, would have only been about a 5-6 yard gain, but good hustle by McClure downfield.
Well, that 5 or 6 yard gain turned into 24. It's 1st and 10 from the 27 yard line. Herb Tyler steps back, picks up 4 to the 23 yard line. That was the concern of Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator for Alabama, as you mentioned, Eddie. You have to respect the speed and the running ability of Herb Tyler right there. Plan play.
And you also, as a defensive coordinator, you've got to be concerned about the success that LSU is starting to have on first down. You always want to keep an offense a couple of yards on first down at most, but plays like that out of the shotgun, very hard to defend because you got to get ready for the pass, and they run the ball at you.
8th play of the drive approaching from the eye. Play action. Herb Tyler has a man. Booty up and over his fingertips, incomplete. Fernando Bryant providing coverage to the left corner for Alabama.
Pretty good protection so far for Herb Tyler. Has not been hit as he's thrown the ball yet today. Number 43, Banks, the fullback, gets a good block. Booty just he tumbled a little bit coming out of his break. Didn't get around in time to get the ball. He's a little late on his jump, but he got his feet tangled up just a little bit. Pretty good coverage by Bryant downfield, but Booty just didn't get out of the break cleanly.
So far, Tyler is 5 of 8 for 36 yards in the early going. 3rd down, 6 over the middle, and this time Foster did not look, but that ball thrown a little high.
That was an emotional throw by Herb Tyler. He just got way too much on that ball. Very emotional day for Herb. His last game on this field, his father passed away back in the spring. His father had told him, hey, you don't know how fast your college career is going to go. And Herb told us he really wishes his father could be here with him today. Just needs to settle himself down a little bit. I know there's a lot of emotion, but just get calmed down.
This will be a 40-yard attempt. Christian Chauvin hit the upright.
They've had some problems with their kicking game at LSU this year. One of the many problems they've had. Chauvin was perfect coming into today's game. He was 3 of 3, which puts a little too much hook on it. Bam, right on the pole. A lot of times those will fall in, but I guarantee you Chauvin thought he had it. Oh no, it hit the post.
Well, pacing and pacing and pacing is Jerry DiNardo.
It's so frustrating when your offense is able to move it up and down the field, and they haven't been able to come away with any points yet.
Alabama gets their second offensive series. They went 3 up, 3 down the first time they touched the ball. Good run by Sean Alexander. We look at that LSU defense. Mitchell, McFarland, and Green. 17 sacks between the three. Linebackers are Miller, Wesley Smith, and Hill. And the DBs, Booker, Roman, LeBlanc, and Davis.
Neil Callaway, the offensive coordinator from Alabama, told us the one place he thinks they may be able to take advantage of LSU is in that secondary. That's changed some things around at LSU. And there's the guy that they're going to try to unleash today, Andrew Zhao, the freshman quarterback.
Second down and 2. 3 wide receivers. Pitch. Eric Locke. And Locke is dropped at the 28th. Good read by Charles Smith.
Eric Locke, one of the true freshman receivers that gets to play, came in motion. Almost a reverse, but really just a pitch. But an excellent job by Charles Smith staying home. Defensive coordinator Lou Tepper, you have to have a guy on the backside of every play who stays as deep as the ball. Sometimes they'll start to pursue and get burnt, but Smith did a great job staying at home.
Third down, 5. Zhao under heavy pressure, dumps it underneath. Quincy Jackson past midfield and stumbles up to the 43. What a nice read by the freshman quarterback.
And if you want to stop somebody from blitzing you, this is how you do it. Andrew Zhao is very good in the pocket. He does not panic. He's got great feet. Joe Wesley comes completely unblocked. He stands into the pocket. He knows where his hot read is. That's the progress that Andrew Zhao has made, is to know who is open when they blitz me. And like I said, if you want to stop somebody from blitzing you, you throw that little slant pass, it goes for a 40-yard gain. That will slow LSU down for the rest of the game trying to blitz.
30-yard pickup between Zhao and Quincy Jackson. First and 10. A dart over the middle, incomplete. Well, if you question his arm strength, he was looking for Arvin Richard, incomplete, but he can release the ball in a hurry.
Yeah, he's got a quick release. And, you know, the amazing part is Andrew Zhao did not start as a quarterback his senior year in high school. He blew out his knee in the spring. He had to back up a sophomore that fall as a senior. Originally committed to Auburn, they wanted him to play safety. He said, you know what, I followed my heart. I wanted to play quarterback. And Alabama, I tell you, they've got themselves a find in Andrew Zhao.
It's amazing. His rehab, he was back playing after 4 months after the surgery. Zhao, option, thought about the pitch and then just pushed down. Oh, hello, Anthony McFarland says to the freshman, Andrew Zhao. McFarland, a great story, 290-pound senior, and his nickname, Booger. Now that's not actually from players, that's from Mom.
Yeah, Mom gave that to him. A great job, though. The one thing that Anthony McFarland can do is run laterally on the line of scrimmage. He fought off 2 blocks, was able to get down inside. Andrew Zhao has no idea where that's coming from because he's trying to read the end. But Anthony McFarland, a couple of weeks ago against Georgia, absolutely took over in the 4th quarter. He said, I had to make plays because we needed him.
Third down, 2. Zhao all day to throw. Deep ball, Jackson incomplete. Down on coverage, Robert Davis, a freshman from Shreveport. But Zhao aired that ball out.
Very obvious that Andrew Zhao is not afraid to let this ball fly. He's tried a couple of shots deep. This one just outside the outreached arms of Jackson, but not afraid. Very close to making that play, but Zhao is not afraid to let that ball fly.
So Alabama's series is stopped at the 44. Pope is back to punt, and Falk back to receive. And no return. 7 yards deep in the end zone. Tonight on CBS, martial arts superstar Sammo Hung stars in TV's #1 new drama, Martial Law. If you haven't seen Sammo in action, don't miss an all-new episode of Martial Law tonight on CBS.
Coming into the season, a lot of people, including myself, thought that LSU would win the SEC West, but things have kind of gone topsy-turvy. You got to move Arkansas up here. You got to move LSU and Auburn down here. It's been an amazing season. 44 of the 45 first-place votes went to LSU. Nobody expected a 4-4 season.
Fullback draw.
Tommy Banks carries.
Tommy Banks, maybe a yard up to the 21. Tackled by Travis Smith. Nice job at drawing, by the way.
And several others made a tackle.
Well, for more of that Alabama defense, let's check in with John Dockery. Doc.
You know, the Alabama defense has been having its problems as LSU is moving the ball, and what the coaches and players are talking about on the sidelines. And Ed, you mentioned this, they're so preoccupied with Herb Tyler up the middle and spying on him that they're not. That's the linebackers and the defensive backs are not getting contained outside, and that's where they're making their yardage.
Play fake to the fullback. The catch is made, pulled down, Falk, and he fights to the near sideline up to the 24. Fernando Bryant knocked him out of bounds.
Interesting point by John Dockery that they're worried about watching Herb Tyler, but one way you can get after a quarterback is just get him on the ground. Good shot up the middle on Herb Tyler, and that's one way you can slow down a great athlete like that is start hitting him around the midsection. A couple of body blows will slow down anybody, Craig.
Yes, indeed. Coming up on the 2-minute mark of the first quarter. Scoreless here in Baton Rouge. They call it Death Valley. Shotgun. 3rd down 8. He fakes the deep pass, swings it out to the flat, and Falk is wrestled down at the 28-yard line. About 2 yards short of the first down.
Herb Tyler hoping that his man Falk could make a defender miss and get the first down. Nothing open down the field. Right now, Alabama doing a good job covering downfield and not letting things be open. And Tyler has had to go to that swing man several times so far.
Gibbs at his own 15 will kick to Arvin Richard. Good kick. Driving Richard back inside the 15. Richard breaks a tackle and then taken down at the 18. 56-yard kick, a 5-yard return. Hey, Greg Norman is 101% fit as he returns next weekend to host the Franklin Templeton Shark Shootout. He'll be joined by his good buddies John Daly, Freddie Couples, Davis Love III, and many more in this 2-man team competition. And then next week, make sure you tune in NASDAQ, MX, college football, Notre Dame Navy, or it will be Arkansas and Tennessee. 3:30 Eastern. Make sure you check your local listings for the game in your area.
Arkansas, Tennessee could go down either one of those teams. If the team who wins could end up at least guaranteed a spot in that December 5th final of the SEC in Atlanta.
And before today's game, we were joined, how about Notre Dame on that goal line defensive stand against Boston College. Zhao complete. Down to the 21-yard line.
What hustle by Anthony McFarland, the nose guard. Here's a guy, he's a senior, it's his last game, they've had a disappointing year. We sat down and met with him. I said, you look like a madman out there, you're running around. He said, you know, I just have to make plays. I have to lead by example, make sure the young guys don't stop working. That time he's out there, 290 pounds, chasing around a running back in the that ran a little screen. Amazing hustle by a big man.
And Eddie, he's hungry for a sack. The first 4, he picked up 6 quarterback sacks. The last 4, he's been shut out. Zhao passes, the ball tipped and then knocked down. Well, you can almost see interception, but a collision down at the 30-yard line. Roman batted that ball away, and LeBlanc had a chance. Brings up a 3rd down.
This crowd has not been able to have too much to scream for yet today, but you can imagine this place would have erupted if Roman's ball. Good coverage by the free safety coming up from that safety spot, read the quarterback's eyes, got underneath the little out route. And Roman did a nice job coming up, and like you said, LeBlanc almost picks that. If he picks it, you got to figure he has a good chance of getting in the end zone.
Zhao, 2 of 7. He started strong with that first throw, 2 of 7 for 32. Past the 25 up to the 26.
Davis.
You know, Craig, they put in Eric Locke at the quarterback spot. Locke, a true freshman, was a quarterback in high school, played some quarterback last week against Southern Miss. And the reason they're doing that, the reason they're trying to get Eric Locke some time is John David Phillips, the fifth-year senior quarterback, wants to get on the field, and they have to start developing a second stringer before they can let John David play some other spots and possibly some special teams.
Pope back to kick. Good snap. Falk and Foster for LSU. Hang time. Falk at the 17, stiff arms, breaks a tackle, and then is pushed down at the 27-yard line. They also have another great quarterback, Tyler Watts, who's a freshman, highly thought of, but they want to try to redshirt him and don't want to afford to put him on the field. 56-yard boot, a 10-yard return.
First two punts Pope had of Alabama, he angled them away from Falk. That time, he kicked it right down the middle of the field. Very dangerous to do with Kevin Falk. Already one touchdown return this year on a punt.
We have a 5-yard face mask violation on the red team. Be a 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down at the end of the quarter.
Astor Sizemore, today's referee.
Falk uses a great stiff arm to get away from Freddie Millens, and Roman gets a shot very close to an illegal shot.
That's the end of the first quarter. Scoreless here in Death Valley. We'll return to Baton Rouge right after this message and a word from your local station.